McGregor or Mayweather? Is it happening? Is it a myth? What's going on? Please let us know right now.
The McGregor side is done. I'm starting to work on the Mayweather side now.
Ooh, so the fight will happen.
Ooh.
I'm not saying the fight will happen, but I got one side done. Now it's time to work on the other. You know, if we can come to a deal with Haymon and Mayweather, the fight's going to happen.
What will the rules be?
Boxing.
Oh, it's going to be straight up boxing.
One fight, I think that makes business sense. You know, I came out of retirement because I'm a businessman when it's all said and done. And I want to give the world what they want to see. McGregor's a fighter, I'm a fighter, and that's what the people want to see. The fight fans and the MMA fans. And I think we can do record-breaking numbers. Do I think we can break me and Pacquiao's number? I don't know, but you know, one thing I can do is just keep my fingers crossed and just hope we can do it.
You seemed a little frustrated that there wasn't movement on that in the past couple of months, but Dana White and McGregor's made news saying that they've come to an agreement. Have they reached out to you now that they have an agreement?
Well, I'm not here to throw anyone under the bus. I'm a true professional. You know, like I said, I'm a lot older, a lot wiser. I can't sit right here and say that they're waiting on us. You know, I'm not here to say that. They're not waiting on us, and we're not waiting on them, and we're not waiting on them. You know, as soon as his side communicate with my side, and they come to an agreement, then the fight will happen.
You know, on the fights that are on the horizon.
And you know, when I pause for a while, because a lot of times, you know, we tend to rush and say things that we shouldn't say. So, you know, I like to sit back, take my time to make sure I answer that correctly.
Have they reached out to you though, since they've got an agreement between themselves there?
You know, I have a team for that. You know, once my team come to me and say, Floyd, it's a go, then it's a go.
If this fight is signed, is it number 50?
It's just another fight. You know, it's another fight that the fans want to see. And I want to continue to give the fans. I want to give the fans an explosion if the fight does happen.
You know, I'd love to see him fight for the 45-pound title and definitely 35. And the one I'd love to see him more fight than anybody, the one who stayed away from him, and that's Conor McGregor, man, who you know, had so many opportunities to fight Frankie when you know, when Mendez fought him, and Mendez already had lost to Jose not too long before that, and then you know, knew that Mendez wasn't training and picked Mendez over Frankie. You know, I would love to see Frankie fight him, because you know what, it would be the same exact thing that happened you know, Saturday night, but be worse, because I think Yair's hips are a little better, and is a little better on the ground, you know, and his jiu-jitsu. I think it would be a lot worse for Conor than it was for Yair, and I really believe that, especially you saw what Chad was doing, and I think that Frankie has, you know, and Chad was one of my favorite players. But I think Frankie's top game and jiu-jitsu are a little better than Chad's, and I think you saw what Chad did, and Chad, you know, was gassing. So I think it would be horrific for Conor. I think you'd see the same exact thing we saw Saturday. So I'd love to see that one.
Yeah, and I think an Edgar McGregor fight is on the short list of the biggest single fights emotionally that we can make right now. So I would agree.
He would never do that. He ducked it he ducked it for that many years, and he'll duck it. But you know, but he is still amazing. I don't want to say that. You know, Conor is an amazing fighter.
Some people have taken an objection to you mocking Jones for what they perceive as addiction issues. Are you wrong for doing it?
These things are so public, right? These instances are so public. And if he was doing all this stuff to himself and just by himself and not affecting people, then I probably wouldn't say anything. But his indiscretion and his mess ups, they've greatly influenced my career too in the way that I perceive. So, a lot of people may say, well, you would never be the champion if you didn't do those things. Maybe if he would beat me again, but we would have fought already to decide that. But even though I am champion, because of things that he has done to get in that situation, people never really truly respect me as they should. And not only are they not respecting me as they should, they're discrediting everything I have done. You know, so it's not off limits. And my whole thing is this, Luke Thomas, and I asked this, and as much as I get people going, some guy sent me this the other day on Twitter. He goes, Daniel, if you knew the struggle, you would never say the things you say. And I said to the guy, I said, well, I don't know the struggle because I know how dangerous it is, so I don't mess with it. You're not born with addiction issues. You make the choice to start to mess with that, Luke. So yeah, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to tell him anything I want to tell him. I also believe he's a steroid abuser. 100%.
Yeah, but what is, in fairness to John, what does cocaine use have to do with steroid use?
If you're willing to do that right before a fight, and that's something that could be detrimental to you going forward, why would you do something that could help you? That's my philosophy. I could be wrong. I do believe that this dude has been cheating his whole entire life, though. Why not?
So we're backstage, and he looks over at me, and he's like looking at me, staring, and I look at him, and I give him a smirk, and he goes, "What an embarrassing haircut." And I was like, and I said, well, what's going to be really embarrassing is you explaining to your kids one day how you were the champion and you never beat that Jon Jones guy. And he was just like, don't you ever bring up my kids. And he stood up. And how are you going to explain to your kids how you were the champion without beating me? You weren't the champion ever, right? You were a belt holder or whatever, a belt warmer, a belt sitter, but you were never actually the champion. So anyways, yeah, so he's like, how, you know, don't talk about my kids, blah, 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 blah. And he stood up and threw a water bottle, hit me right in the face with it.
So I sit down, right, and I look at Jones, and he's sitting there next to me, you know, and he looks at me, and I said, what? And he kind of starts shaking his head. I get so tired of this, like just kind of looking at him, you know, and he goes, what? I go, what? And he goes, you're funny. He's got like this smirk on his face, and I go, what's funny? And he tells me, he goes, the fact that you think you could beat me is funny. So I said, I don't think I'm going to beat you. I said, I know I'm going to beat you. He said, based on what? And I don't have to tell you anymore. I'll show you. And that's when he goes into the whole, how are you going to tell your kids that you couldn't beat Jon Jones? Before he said, Jones, bottle to the face. Don't mention my children. You don't get to mention my children. Bottle to the face. Don't you ever say how you're going to tell your kids.